right? You probably do the same thing with your business. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining in. This is GavinMehl here in Sacramento, California. I've got a friend of mine here named Jack, and I want Jack to tell a little bit about himself. We're going to talk a little bit about how to start your business online. And Jack is a business owner, and he's done really well in traditional business methods, but he wants to go and take his business online to the next level. And I want to just, Jack, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your story.
Awesome. So my name is Jack Zhang, currently from Elk Grove, California, but soon to be moving to the Bay Area. I just got married. And growing up, I've always been very artistic, been drawing since the age of 2. And so that's why I decided to pursue a graphic design major at UC Davis. And I was fortunate enough that I had an internship on campus, and right out of college in 2007, I had a job lined up. And eventually worked my way up to becoming the lead graphic designer for all of UC Davis athletics, which was really cool and prestigious and a stable job. But, in 2007 and 2008, that's when the economy started to hit, and I found myself having the jobs of 3 people but only got paid for 1, which is very common these days. And so I didn't see myself staying on campus forever, because forever is a very long time, unlike some of my colleagues who are, slaving away. Because I realized that time is very precious, and this was something I had to learn when I was a senior in high school, when I had a 5-year-old brother, and he passed away from leukemia, and then 3.5 months after that, my dad passed away from colon cancer. So within a very short period of time, I lost 2 family members, and I realized that I had to take care of my family. And so I started to look for other ways to make extra income. Started my own photography business with my friends, but that stopped becoming fun because it took up all our weekends. And then I came across the Nu Skin opportunity. And at first I didn't want anything to do with it because I thought it was about selling shampoos and lotions. But then what I discovered was that not only is it a way for me to help people with their health, which I'm obviously passionate about, but it's a way for me to create freedom for myself and my family. And so I am growing my business all over the world. I'm here meeting with Gavin here just to be able to expand my knowledge on how to expand in the internet arena, because I believe that internet marketing is the best way to go right now. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Jack. I appreciate it. And so for those who don't know me, GavinMehl here in Sacramento, California, and I want to talk a little bit about how we can help Jack and anyone else watching on the recording or live to take in their business, whatever business that you're in right now online. And I'm not going to hold anything back, but those who watch previous broadcasts that I've done, I want to try to make it very simplified. And we gave the analogy a minute ago about how if you want to teach me math and I don't even know the numbers yet, right. You got to teach me my numbers first. What does 1, what does 2 mean? What does 3 mean? Then addition, then it's subtraction, then multiplication. You can't just say, all right, here's algebra and geometry. I'm going to say, wait a second, I don't understand the numbers. So I understand that Jack and a lot of people on there, they understand the numbers of the internet. They understand how, that's an obvious point, but maybe they don't know how to market a business yet. Okay, so I want to go over just kind of the basics and really focus on the fundamentals here and keep it really, really simple. Okay. So I believe, well, first of all, I've been studying under some of the top marketers in the world for some time. Frank Calabro Jr., Simon Stepsis, and Jamison Palmer. Okay, those are right there at the top of the top in the way of marketers. But originally I was introduced to Mike Dillard, who I think set the table for so many people. He made $50 million as an internet marketer, retired, stopped. How did he do it? A lot of these guys like Frank Calabro Jr., he figured out his formula as to what Mike Dillard did, and then took their business online. So Jamison put a lot of training materials. Simon Stepsis really kind of paved the way as, I think, the top affiliate marketer in the world, but he doesn't put out a lot of training. But Frank really put a ton of training material out, became a strong mentor of mine. So you guys can look them up if you want to learn from them as well. But really it comes down, I believe, 7 core daily commitments that you want to follow, and it's so basic, okay? It's so simple that we think, no, it's got to be harder than that. Mm-hmm. Now, is there a harder way? Yeah, it's like the idea that I just gave. We can talk about geometry and trigonometry, But if you don't know how to do multiplication and subtraction yet, there's really no point, right? So let's cover the basics first for anyone watching, or depending on the level of skill that you have yet, Jack. And then once you get through that, Jack, then you can take it to the next level. But I always tell people one thing is that, Boise, much love. Hey, thanks for coming on, and thanks for hearting the video. One thing is that a lot of people have the tendency to want to spend a lot of money on marketing their business. And I made that mistake before, and I see people making it now. They spend $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 or more to go out and market their business online. And I really think that's a huge mistake, okay? And here's why. It's like, until you identify what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong with the free marketing, I think that you're almost pretty much throwing that money in the fire when you spend it on internet marketing. It's almost just gone. That's really the truth. Unless you're talking about buying like systems, whether it be a CRM or some tools that you're going to use every day. That would be different. But paying somebody SEO money or paying a company, I think is a huge mistake until you master the basics. Okay, because it's like you're putting money out there and you have no idea what it's doing. Okay. Yeah, so that's just a huge point. So let's talk about the basics as to what we can do. First of all, the first point: do something every day. And what is something? Well, it's like sometimes an entire day could go by and somebody could do nothing with their online business. If it's enough for you to make one post, then that's something for you. Realistically, there's a lot more you should do every day, but you have to do at least something online every day to make the world and make your people that are watching you know that you exist, know that you're working, know that you're out there. Okay. You made at least some sort of footprint presence online each day. Okay. You want to expose your business daily. Okay, so in Jack's case, he has a business that he's passionate about, and he's doing incredibly well in traditional methods of marketing the business, but he wants to bring in another avenue of traffic into the business. So we want to expose that to new people every day. So in his case, and a lot of people's case that may be watching really any business, and that's a good question. Any business, this can apply to any business online. If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, a wantrepreneur, this can apply to any type of business. If you have a business you want to market, as long as there's a website that people can go to, that's what we're talking about here. And how do we expose this business? So in Jack's case, he has they asked what type of business are you in, Jack?
So I'm in the anti-aging youth preservation business. So we have products that can address aging at the source, be able to slow down and reverse aging at a genetic level.
That's a great question, and I'm sorry we didn't cover that, or I apologize for not covering that earlier. So how do we target people for Jack? We use something called the scaling method, and you want to write this down if you're watching, if you really want to learn how to market your business. I learned this from Simon Stepsis, and this is a huge point. We're going to scale it in 3 different methods. We're targeting people. Mm-hmm. So 1 to 3 are employees. So whether you're on Facebook, doing a Google search, on LinkedIn, wherever you're looking at potential prospects, 1 to 3 are employees. They don't know about business. They are not a good target. You do not want to go after them, period. That's not somebody you even want to approach or talk to. If they come to you, great. But you want to just scratch them off the list. Okay? Number 4 to 6, business owners. These are people that have a business, have owned a business in the past, potential entrepreneurs. These people likely have a budget, they likely have a website, and they likely have an open mind because they have experience. Right. Those are great targets. Right. Now, 7 to 10s, direct sales people are the best people to always target for any type of business. Right. Because these people are the ones that are on the cutting edge. They're the big thinkers. They're open-minded, and they're usually probably marketing something themselves that may benefit you. You never know. You could work together. Direct sales people are always going to be your best target market. So whenever you're searching, you search for keywords like that: MLM, BizOp, network marketing. You search for things like that for finding your leads. Right. Okay, send at least 20 messages a day to these people. All right, 20 messages a day. LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, text message, email, 20 a day. Probably going to take about an hour just to do that. But an hour a day, it's a cumulative effect. Imagine doing that. That's 5 hours a week. That's 100 messages a week. How many people you think are going to respond from sending 100 messages? I bet you a pretty significant amount if you send the right message. You've got a great passion about your business. How many people are going to respond? Well, that'll be up to you. You'll have to decide. But think about where that is. 30 days from now, that's 400 messages. It's a lot of people seeing your information, right? So that's really the second key. 20 messages a day. Got to be going out. Number 3, and this is really has nothing to do with marketing, but it's so important. Listen to one personal development audio per day, 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, so I recommend Master Key System. That's the all-time number 1 of all time of all personal development material. It's the crown of the crown, top of the top. Then Think and Grow Rich, Zig Ziglar, see you at the top, or anything that applies to your business that's going to help you with your product line. Those are some suggestions that I use. Okay, so now let's talk about the formula as to what we're going to be doing each day. All right, so there's really a formula of marketing online, and we've gone through the basics of just messaging people about engaging with them. And when you're messaging these people, you have a couple different strategies. You can go for the shotgun approach, where you're shotgunning out a link, and you're going to get some responses back. Or you can go for more of the warm approach, where you're asking them about their business or what they're doing. So you're going to have to test out what fits your personality best and what your strategy is going to be. That's really but you could try it both ways. It works better. You never know. It really depends on you and your product.
Okay.
But let's talk about the strategy. So every single day we have to be thinking a little bit of ahead each week. Like, say, planning our week on Sunday and thinking 5 days ahead. Every single day, we're going to be doing one of two things. We're going to be either writing a blog or posting a video. And then that blog turns into an email. Okay? So the idea is let's talk about you have a product that you believe in. You were talking about some of these, what was the word you used? Something genetics? Epigenetics. Okay, so epigenetics, I don't even know what that is. But it's an important word to people's health. So let's use that as a blog subject one day, and you tell people about that, and people who search for that word in the future are potentially going to see your blog. And then you're going to base a video around that same thing. And you're going to make the video the same subject as the blog. They have to be exactly the same word for word. Okay? And then you're going to take that blog and turn it into an email to people that you have on your list. So that is really, formula number 4 is writing a blog and then recording a video about the blog, number 5. Okay? Videos you can use, Jack already is doing Google Hangout, YouTube, which is Google Hangout, Periscope, which we have on here live. Daily Motion is something that's powerful as well. Vimeo, Metacafe. Now, there's some advanced video marketing strategies that I don't really want to even get into right now, but if anyone, I'll cover it real quick. When you record a video, you write a blog, you record a video. When you record that video, you want to make sure that when you save the video, whether it's on your phone or your computer, it's the same. Your video on YouTube and your blog name are the same word for word as the file that you save it as. Some reason it will optimize better. That's just one key trigger. Another key, if you really want to take a video viral, is not only do you mirror the blog, but you also want to upload it to Dailymotion, Vimeo, and Metacafe, but change just one word on the video. Okay? And so let's say you've got the video file, you upload it to all 3 places, and then you save the video inside the blog. So you would have 4 video files in one blog. It would look kind of sloppy in the blog, but you're doing it for optimization reasons. So this is just a secret, viral method. Would you want to do that on every single video? No reason to. But you may have that one video that this is the one you really want to have people see, capture video or sales video that you really like. So just a suggestion. Okay. Once that's up and live, share your blog and your video with 20 groups on Facebook and then 20 groups on LinkedIn. Now, do you know what groups are? Or have you seen them?
On Facebook, yeah.
So on Facebook and on LinkedIn, you can get in groups free. These are all free methods, stuff that I would recommend you focus on first for a few months until you get really the hang of them before spending any money on anything, really. And so you just post your video in these groups. You can do it manually, just posting it in there. I think you could do 100 groups a day without getting blocked or in any sort of like Facebook jail. So it's just another very, very important strategy. Post the blog and video in these groups. And then number 7, follow up with 20 people a day. So maybe like afternoon, morning, you're hitting them up with the messages. Maybe afternoon, you're doing a follow-up. And have like a scripted follow-up. And a lot of times it's just going to be a simple scripted text follow-up on the social media. Hey, did you get my last message? How are you? Whatever it is, you're probably writing the same thing every time, but you're just creating familiarity. Any questions?
I mean, how do you find these people on Facebook or LinkedIn, and why would they even respond to you?
Why?
They probably get blasted with people messaging them all the time.
Well, it's a good question. Well, I mean, a lot of them may not. It's really, first of all, a lot of it's going to come down to your mindset. How you engage with them and what your mindset is. So if you're asking them about their business, they're probably going to respond. If you shotgun them, you're probably going to have a lot lower conversion ratio. How do you find these people? Well, I have a shortcut to find these people if you want it. There is something, anyone out there is watching it, I've discovered. It's called MLM-ROD. MLM-ROD. It's a program, MLM-ROD. It literally is a $15 program that will get you 100 leads of people just like this, the 7 to 10s at a time. Once you finish the 100, we'll give you another 100.
For $15.
$15 one time forever. Not just 100. You could have 100,000. So it's an amazing program. I've been using it for a couple of years. Just so you don't have to go on and source the people yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to save the $15, you can just do the Google search and find these types of people yourself. But it's already kind of done the search for you and narrowed them down, and it actually provides a phone number too. So I do a lot of things over the phone. I didn't even mention that, but honestly, I call people a lot. I still make a bunch of calls every day. My goal is 100. If I can make 50 calls a day, I'm happy.
What do you say to them?
So what do I say to them? There's a script that I follow. Oh, that's a good question. What do you say to people? Well, I have a script that I follow actually, but here's exactly what I say. Okay. Hey, this is Gavin for Jack. Jack?
Hi.
Hey, Jack. Jack, my name's Gavin. You don't know me, but I was just hoping I'm actually out here in California, in Sacramento, California. I was just hoping you'd point me in the right direction. I have a question for you.
What's that?
So the reason for the call, I'm actually out, like I said, I'm out in California, in Sacramento, California, and Jack, I actually am expanding my business right now. I'm an expert in traffic and online marketing. Now, I just want to find out, are you open-minded to looking at any good opportunities, Jack?
Yeah.
You are. I don't know. Did I catch you at a good time to talk for a moment, or would you rather have me send you more information?
Sure. Let's talk.
Talk? Okay. So if at that point, I've opened the door, then you're going to take it from there. Boom. Wide open. A lot of times you're going to notice, say, yeah, send me more information. So you want to give them an out as well.
Right.
Don't catch them in a tight spot and ask for all 30 minutes of their time when they may be busy.
Right.
That's, be polite. I always go for the polite approach and ask it, if they want to go for a way out, maybe they're okay with you just sending a text message or an email and setting up another call or something. That's a polite way to do things. But I'm telling you, that is a great strategy, and I go for that strategy right there. Hey, this is Gavin for Jack. Jack, you don't know me. It's a psychological approach. You don't know me. Okay. So that's immediately, that's a question they have. Do I know this person? You don't know me. So you're getting a yes right there, right? Yes. Would you mind, I just had a question for you. Would you mind just trying to help me point me in the right direction? Kind of a dumb question, but you're like, okay, what's up? Well, you kind of just break the ice right there. And this isn't a sales call. I'm not a bill collector or anything. It's just like I'm out in California, in Sacramento, California. I'm an independent business owner, an entrepreneur, right? I specialize in online marketing and traffic. Mm-hmm. Are you open-minded at looking at any good opportunities, or are you promoting any opportunities? Just trying to open the door of a conversation, getting them to talk, telling them more about themselves. That's my goal. Okay. I'm not trying to sell them anything right there, unless they want to listen. Mm-hmm. I just want to know. Maybe they're doing something. A lot of times, if a person has a great product, maybe they want to market it better. We can work together somehow. Mm-hmm. So kind of looking at the work together approach, and it honestly, I have tremendous success. I've had more than 50% of my business has come from phone marketing, from this particular lead system. Not 50%, a lot of it. I'd say at least 25%. It's very tremendous. Yeah. It's just persistence, though. Persistence is the key. Yeah. So that is the basics right there. There's so much more we can talk about. Really the last key element to marketing I want to talk about is building an online footprint. I missed a question. Somebody had a question. I missed it. If you had it, want to ask it again, I'm so sorry. I was saying something, I didn't see it. So, is building your online footprint. Okay? Building your online footprint is how people are going to find you. What's the first thing you're going to do when you meet someone, maybe that you're interested in working with? What's the first thing you're probably going to do?
Find out more about them.
Search on Google, right?
Yeah.
You're going to do a search on Google and you're going to check them out. Sure. So you want to search on Google in an incognito window about yourself. And see what comes up. So when people start looking you up, what are they going to see? And then if there's not much, well, then you want to start building your footprint. So of course, if you have a unique name, right? Is your last name pretty unique? Is it?
No.
Okay, so you want to build it around a unit. Maybe it's a middle initial in there. Something. It's important that when they search you, they can find you. I like the story of W. Clement Stone. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
So back in 1937, right when Think and Grow Rich came out, W. Clement Stone was an insurance agent in Chicago. And he was a new insurance agent, just an average insurance guy, come from a really poor background, poor family. But he had a burning desire. He got this to be successful. He got Think and Grow Rich. He read it, and he started really branding himself and taking off. One of the things that made a huge difference for him was he had a simple name. It was like William Jones. It's like William C. Jones. Oh, great. William Stone. William C. Stone, I think it was. Like, okay, well, there's probably 100,000 of those. So one of the things he did is he called himself W. Clement, his middle initial, Stone. And there was no other people with that name. And so by doing that, when people looked at who he was, they knew exactly it was that guy. It wasn't William Stone, who they couldn't identify who that was. Right. So that was one of the key things that he did, and he ended up becoming a billionaire, one of the top leaders in insurance. I mean, he was a massive success. But that's just one of the examples that someone like you or anyone else could do, is make sure that you have branded your name that people can find you. And then when they ask, you tell them that. Okay. So social media, how do you build a footprint? Well, you've got your key elements. The biggest one, which I'm not a big fan of, but I don't even have it. I focus my efforts elsewhere, but it is Facebook. It's still the biggest social media there is. Instagram has become a massive social media platform as well. Pinterest is bigger than you think. You want to have Pinterest. LinkedIn is, I believe, going to be a bread and butter. Because LinkedIn, you can't have fake accounts. LinkedIn, there's no junk and spam. It's not slow like Facebook. It's not a big monstrosity. I don't know. For Facebook, if you notice, I don't know about you, but when I've been on there, it's slow, and it seems like it takes up the whole computer at times. Like it wants to hog everything. And there's just a lot going on. With LinkedIn, it's just fast, it's instant. You can narrow down your search, businesses that you want to target, people. It's very easy to filter, your target market. Google Plus is another huge one. Because when people search, the first things that come up is the Google search, the Google social media, which is Google Plus. Okay, so have a Google Plus with your name on it. Tumblr believe it or not, is actually another big one. That's, I think, number 6 here. So the big 5, we're basically like big 5 you want to have that we talked about, and then Tumblr. Okay. Tumblr's like a blogging system. Yeah. You want to take it to the next level. You want to get Flickr, which is Yahoo photo. Blogger, which is another Google thing. You just put in your Blogger. Delicious is a site that bookmarks all your links. It's the top bookmarking site. Plurk is another social media site in Asia. And then also make sure you have a YouTube channel with your name on it. And then the big one I think right now which we're on is Periscope. That's really the future, which is going to be huge. Also with your footprint, when you're building an email, Frank Calabro Jr. taught me this, and I made a mistake initially when I started, is I was branding something else. Like let's say I'm branding anti-aging. And so my email was anti-aging Sacramento or whatever. And that was a mistake. My email should be my name, GavinMehl, Gavin Gmail. So your email that people are going to see is your name permanently. And it's always at Gmail, never anything else. Why? Because Gmail communicates better with every other network. So what's your goal of sending an email? So it can get read. That's the only purpose. And there's other benefits, but the main thing is you want to have it read. If it ends up in spam, your email is worthless. Right. So you want to make sure you're using Gmail so that doesn't end up in spam.
And you're saying for the subjects, you want to write your name?
Not the subject, but the actual email. Like my email is Gavin Gmail. So I made the mistake initially of setting up an email of something else, like a business name or a product or something. You follow me?
Yeah.
And I think it's great, but we got to think 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. You're the brand.
Yeah.
They're going to buy because they trust and like you, and they like the product too, right? They like the product and the company too, but maybe if you weren't there, they wouldn't buy it. You follow me? So give yourself a lot more credit than sometimes we tend to think, we're not as valuable as we are, but we are because people would not buy without us. Right. Without you, they wouldn't buy that product. I mean, maybe there might be a percentage that would, but you have a lot more value than you think.
It reminds me of when Will Smith first started Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and his manager told him, do not use a stage name. Stick with Will Smith, because if this show ends up taking off, you want to be remembered as Will Smith and not some fake stage name.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that.
I didn't know that story, but it's so true. And I learned that lesson the hard way, but I see it now. We're the brand, Yeah. And anyone else watching, you're the brand. So if you want to get ahead in online marketing and you want to leave a legacy, okay, we're talking legacy, we're talking years down the road, build your name as the brand. And we talked a little bit about how W. Clement Stone did is he put the W, then the Clement and Stone. So if you have just a common name, put a middle name in there or initials somehow so that when people look for you, they find you. Okay, so that is the footprint. That's the basics, folks. If there's any questions, or if you have any questions, Jack, there's so much more I could cover, but I could end up with a lot of spam. What do you mean by ending up with spam? By getting spam? Oh, okay. I think what they're saying is I could get spammed. Don't broadcast your email to the world. I don't put my email on anything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when I send people emails. Okay, so never put your email on the internet. Yes, you're right. If you put your email address all over the internet, you're going to get spammed like crazy. You can put a bogus email on there, but don't ever put your main email on the internet. You're going to have spam sent to you nonstop. Right. Because there's a lot of these bots that pick your email address up. Ideally, one of the points I didn't even talk about here that is really incredibly important. What are we promoting? What are we promoting to these people? What are we promoting? I know it's your business, your company, but
ourselves.
We're promoting ourselves. Yeah, absolutely, we're promoting ourselves. But what is the first thing we want them to see? Any idea? Hey, who's that? Thanks for coming on, and thanks for commenting. We're talking a little bit today about how to start a business online. And this is one of the most important key elements it took me to learn. It took a long time for me to learn this. Where is the money? The money, is it in the product? Well, welcome Canada. Is it in the product? Well, I thought it was in the product. I thought it was in the business. Well, guess what? The money's not. The money's in the list. The money's actually inside the list. What's a list? The list is your email list. Okay, this is Jameson Palmer taught me this. Frank Calabro Jr. taught me this. This is the fact. Simon Steps says the same thing. These are Mike Dillard. I mean, these are the top marketers in the world. The money's in the list, guys. So how do we create a list? What's happening is when you promote something, Jack has a great business here that he's promoting. When he's going to promote that business, he's not going to send a long link from the company that says new skin, Jack. That's not what he's promoting. What he's going to be promoting is a squeeze page, a capture page, and he's not actually telling them too much information. You're going to invite them to know more. Mm-hmm. And the best way to do that is by giving them something free. Hey, free consultation or free ebook or free product sample or something to get them to put their email address in. Promote the dream. Yeah, exactly. Promote the dream. I mean, that's a good point. So does that make sense about how you're promoting a squeeze page?
Capture page.
A capture page. Yeah, a capture page is what you're promoting. So that way, that's going to capture the person's information. Right. And then ideally, it's going to take them into a sales funnel. That's a whole another lesson that I could point you in the right direction on how to do. Yeah. But that's really the essence. Because you'll notice that if you start promoting a link with all the main information on the site, even if it's a beautiful site with some amazing stuff, well, you're not going to know who went there. Right. You can't follow up with them. Right. And how many people are actually going to buy the first time they see it? Probably zero. So it's going to take about 11 to 15 to 18 exposures before they buy and get warmed up to it. So we want to make sure that we capture their information, and that way we can be friendly with them. Send them an email once in a while. Thanks for watching the video. Much love. How best to advertise for doctor's offices? Where are you at? What part of the world are you in? In California. Okay. Well, I mean, if you're looking for a local market, I mean, this is Northern California. Okay, welcome. That's where we're at here. You're gonna hate me for saying this, but honestly, the best way to advertise for a local market is getting on one of those signs on the side of the freeway. Right. It's true, because I mean, you can't market online too much for the local when you're looking for a 20-mile zip code. It's very hard to target that. It's going to be very expensive. It's going to be a lot more expensive than it would be to just putting up your sign on the freeway saying, here's our doctor's office. I mean, that is the most effective marketing for local business, because you're right on the freeway, right where you want to be. These are local people driving by. I mean, so hopefully that helps you. It may be kind of expensive to do that, but I think that's the best way, in my opinion. And you definitely don't want to market online too much when you're just targeting a small area. Okay. It's very hard. I don't know. I don't sell the signs or anything, but I mean, you could talk to. I know some people who do. I don't even know their numbers. You'll have to look and see. You have to drive around and see. I have actually done it before. The one at Cal Expo is a good one. They've got the digital signs you can advertise on if you're looking for local marketing. But this call is more about just building your business online. And if you're looking for a small demographic of a small radius, it's tough online. I'll be honest, it's really tough. And I don't want to put people in the wrong direction. I've had people contact me about that before, and I hate to see them spend money or spend too much focus when they're looking for a 20-mile radius and whatnot. That's what this guy was looking for. Okay. It's not as effective. Yeah. So, well, hopefully that helps. Any other questions or any other comments, Jack?
I think that's great. I think it's just getting the list of names and contacting them and just knowing what to say. Because I do know that my company has an online prospecting site where they do have a capture page, and people that view it, they have to put in their information.
Perfect.
And it keeps track of how much of a certain video they've seen.
Oh, great.
I just haven't utilized it much because I just don't have any experience. But
okay, so now you have a much better idea.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions on here, guys? Well, thank you so much for tuning in. This is GavinMehl and Jack. You want to say your goodbye? Oh, you have a Periscope channel too, right? You want to tell everyone your Periscope channel?
I just started it.
No, okay.
I'm not quite sure what it is.
Thanks for hearting the video, guys. I'll get this over to Jack so he can share it with his following as well, and we'll see you again next time. Hopefully this is helpful. All right, we'll see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving if you're in the United States, and find me on YouTube as well. I'm shooting a lot of videos on there right now. Be the best.